Alright, well, welcome back, everybody. This video, I'm really just going to kind of talk about the game. So far, I've cut out a lot of stuff because it, frankly, was just not that entertaining. The story is just, kind of blah. The best thing about the entire game is Popoi, and, his moments to shine are limited. I think the stuff that I cut out that I haven't, filmed or will upload to YouTube, I just kind of went around, got all the elementals. I got some mana tree, which turned out to be, the main character's mom. His dad is Saren. Thanatos blew up the mana tree. Sage Jock was really just this annoying bird guy the whole time. What else happened? Geshtar, I think, finally died. And, Fana died. So, I did cut out a good bit, but again, it's just, the story is so blasé, it doesn't really matter. But I'm making this video, like the footage here. This is really all of the grinding and leveling up I did to try and get myself stronger so I could, get to a point where I could beat this game. That's why everything is sped up. This took, I think, at least over 2 hours worth of gameplay that I sped up for this. And, I know I've cut out a lot throughout the whole series in terms of grinding and leveling up, and it's mostly just because there's not a whole lot to say about it. You walk around, you swing your weapon, there's not a whole lot to think about. The actual gameplay in terms of combat, it's just, it's really not that exciting, if I'm honest. Back when I was a kid playing this on the, I think it was the SNES, this type of stuff really was groundbreaking. This type of combat, real-time combat, where, you're not having to just kind of sit there like you are for a turn-based RPG. But again, now that I'm older and I've played a whole lot of other things, this is just really not the most exciting gameplay and combat loop. I won't say that it's bad because, I did play this enough to get to a point where I'm getting close to beating the game, and I am going to see it through to beat the game, so I enjoyed it enough to get that far. But, I don't know. There's just a bunch of things I might be able to nitpick if I really wanted. I've always wanted to see an RPG where, really the combat was like Ratchet and Clank. You can jump, you can platform a little bit. You can swing your sword. In his case, it was a ratchet. Almost every RPG has a magic system. In Ratchet and Clank, that could be analogous to all the different guns and how you select them. So, there's a way you could do this, I believe, to just make it more, entertaining, more, how should I say this? Just so that you have to be more active and not so just kind of blasé, kind of hitting the button every couple seconds to swing your sword. So that you actually have to think about what you're doing in the combat. But it is funny, I had to go through so much just to speed this up, or not speed it up, but just to get all this footage. This took, I think, literally over 2 hours. I may have cut it down a little bit just to make it a little bit more interesting, to make it more only the combat and gameplay. But it's just the grinding in this game is honestly, I'll say, the worst part about it. You know, Frogjar, the main character, or whatever you name him, he's really not that entertaining as a character. Prim is not that entertaining as a character. But I do like Popoe just because I know he's the gag character, but his responses and all of his cutscenes seem a little bit more varied and nuanced compared to the other two, and that you don't really know what he'll say. But you do know that it's going to be fairly entertaining. One thing that I could have done, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it in this. Here in the Mana Fortress is where you'll find the best gear and equipment. And but you get it all by random drop. It's not really guaranteed to get any of it anywhere in the whole dungeon. And I could have done that, but it was just going to take me a long time to do so. Even if I leveled up all the way, if I got my magic leveled up all the way, if I leveled the weapons up all the way, I'm still not sure I would have gotten all the best equipment. And just because of that, I decided not to go for it. But you know, even so, like, I'll go ahead and tell you, at this point, I'm voiceovering this after the fact of me playing this. I've already beaten the game, but you know, it's just the grinding in this is so long. It's so tedious. I don't know if you bothered to check on the times for my saving the game, but if you look at that, like right there, in comparison to the amount of time I've actually put up on YouTube for available footage to watch, it's nothing, you know? I played like over 20 hours of gameplay for maybe, 2 or 3 hours to watch. So, and the whole reason is because I just couldn't figure out a way to make it at all entertaining trying to sit through and watch all this grinding. But you know, this is Secret of Mana. This is the gameplay loop, and looking back, you know, as a kid, I didn't really know any better, and really nobody knew any better. This was just kind of like cutting edge gameplay. But now after playing a lot, yeah, it's fairly obvious that it's lacking in that facet. But you know, I really, for the music alone, I think this game is worth something. Worth going through and playing. And Popoe also makes the game worth playing too. I don't know if anybody at Square Enix or whoever produced this will ever see these videos. If they do, honestly, I feel like if they kind of gave more character to both Prim and the main guy that you play as, I can't remember what the default name was. If you give them more character, make them more interesting, and really just try and make the overall story maybe a little bit more emotionally impactful, as well as redoing the gameplay loop like this, I feel like you would take away about any complaint anybody might have.